Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. I should double check, make sure my microphones are all set right. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right. Well, we got ourselves some coffee. Made it in the environmentally friendly French press, so I didn't have to throw away any things like that. And we're just going to save the planet today with EnsoOS. Apparently is a distro designed to help save the environment. And we'll see if those claims come to pass or not. But anyway, let's see. Once again, is here. Reskinned Ubuntu that cleans the environment. But does it? Hey, man, you put this thing on your computer and the environment will immediately be clean. When you install EnsoOS, you have a negative carbon footprint, people. Telling you. Keith Richardson says, puts lotion on the skin. Greta looks... She's just mad because he didn't kill himself. Papal Penguin, greetings. Hello, Daniel. Hello. Rude Boy Ross, how's it going? Imagine not caring about the planet. That's right. Frost Roger of the Frozen Realm. Hello, Ricky. Greetings, Ricky. How's it going there? Let's see. Hello, Maverick. Greetings there. Yeah, the kitty. I am just plumping up the kitty for the end of the world. Actually, I visited somebody right around. It was right before. I don't know if you young guys won't remember Y2K, but I do. And we were visiting somebody right before then. They had these two huge cats. We're like, man, these are big cats. Like, yeah, we're just plumping them up for Y2K. Yum yum. All right. Tyro, sup yo, what's up? Okay, how much carbon does Kitty produce? Probably too much. The handler can leave you hanging, you know. I know. Hello, Chuck. Greetings. Yay, I'm on television. All right, there you go. That's what the cat said, right? Wife says hi from her hospital room. He broke both her ankles. What are you doing watching my live stream? You should be hanging out with the wife. Unless you guys are watching it together, in which case, get well. Please, don't break your ankles again. Definitely get well. We are monitoring on Discord. So, we got Shun is over there watching while waiting to file taxes. That's a bad word around here. Chuck's over there. Greetings. And Papal got his taxes done. All right. Hello, Ben. All right. They weren't bringing a new meeting to walk the cats. Yeah, that's the thing, yes. Woke, whatever. In this crazy world, you know. Is your cat woke or is your cat walked? I don't know. Cats in the kettle at the Peking moon. If I sing anymore, I'll get a copyright strike. All right. Shall we dive on in or should we give it a few more minutes? We only have 23 folks on right now. Let's give it just a couple more minutes and see if anything else is going on. Let's see. Hope they weren't bringing... Yeah, okay. KO2610, your number has been called. All right. We'll go and get started, shall we? A couple more sips of coffee, then we'll be good. One more. That's good coffee. I think it's just basic generic Folgers today, but whatever. I ran out of the good stuff. No, it's Maxwell House. I think I got a better deal on Maxwell House. EndeavorOS XFCE is awesome. 120 gig drive. Main drive is stored away. All right, there you go. Well, it's oh man, everyone left. We're down to zero viewers because apparently Google's statistics are going on. Let's go ahead and just get started. Y'all catch up later. I need this screen to start. I'm going to need this screen. And then we will go ahead and get started. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we want to look at EnsoOS. So this OS claims to be an environmentally friendly green OS. We are going to evaluate these. So we're looking at, clearly a, computer screen designed more to look like a little bit of a Mackie type feel. We have, looks like Firefox back here running with Ecosia, right? Ecosia saves the planet, things like that. Apparently, allegedly, if you do an internet search with a Koja, they plant a tree. This is basically a reskinned Ubuntu LTS with things heavily borrowed from Elementary. Now, it's a skin of Ubuntu. So it's Ubuntu XFCE with a lot of things from Elementary. So definitely interested. They do have their support stuff from the coffee. We can go ahead to the download link. And if we head on over to the download link, it's going to pop us up our download. We have a single download, which is definitely one of the things that I want to mention here because it's a single download. This is based on Ubuntu 18.04 with their marketing here, a simple operating system for everyone able to run on any machine. Not if you're running Ubuntu 18 because they dropped 32-bit support. You only have one download option. It does not have 32-bit support. Now, I am in agreement with, sure, it's maybe about time to phase out 32-bit support for computers because there's not a lot of computers in the world running 32-bit right now. There's several that are capable of it, but most systems are capable of 64-bit. And but Phil, if you wanted to say, hey, this is a green operating system to revitalize your old computer, pick something that can be used with more older machines. You know, I mean, that's the thing. So they say simple, designed with simplicity in mind, keeping the design and system to a minimum to enable you to run the tasks you need. Private, no spyware included and never will be. I do not know if this has, I don't believe it has the census data collection, but we can check to see if that is installed or not. And green, built on Linux, EnsoOS is able to run on nearly any machine that exists, including those that are no longer supported by Windows and Mac. Again, to make that statement, you need to be able to offer more 32-bit support. So I'm already calling a little bit of bogus here on this. I'm wondering if they're just trying to pick up on the whole green, let's get environmental friendly and things like that. So we have a separate greeter, we have a desktop, we have a multitasking view, an applications menu, we have Plank. And then we do have the download button. We have some installation. So the installation documents are pretty good as well. So if you want to head on over and look at the installation, they really walk you through all of the different steps. Here's how to get everything prepped up in Etcher. So, you know, if you have Windows, I think, does Etcher have Mac support as well? I don't know. I don't use Etcher. But they do have the instructions about how to test it out, how to install it, walking through the entire installation screen. So they do have a lot of really good basic support here on the installation about learning how to use it. You know, here's the applications menu, which this layout's actually different than what they give you out of the box. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And so we'll look at that. Or maybe there's two of them and I've just been using the other one. I don't know. We have a search bar. We have the categories. We have a Plank doc. They're talking about how to add and remove pinned areas. There's, so, you know, installation center. Again, I didn't see this one. They have the... it's called App Pick, I think, and I forget where App Pick comes from. This is a picture of GNOME software. And so there's a little bit of inconsistency in what I actually got and downloaded and what is in their documentation. So that's a little bit of some interesting things to keep in mind here as well. So we're going to go ahead and boot up the system and... So let's go ahead and jump on over. It will boot pretty quick. It is based on XFCE, which on my current build of VirtualBox does not save your... it does not save the screen resolution, so we're going to have to fix the screen resolution when we get in here. That's not an issue with the distro. That's an XFCE thing on the newer version and on the older VirtualBox. So we're not holding that against the system because that's what I would expect to see. We have this nice animation, startup animation, which is pretty good. And we should jump here into a boot screen in a second. So here is our login screen. So it does look pretty nice, good, modern. Again, it is this small screen size here just because that's a new XFCE combined with my older virtual machine. So we're just going to go ahead and push a little fix for that. Dang it, I wanted to show that welcome screen. That welcome screen is actually driving me crazy because I've not seen a way to turn it off. And it pops up every single time. I mean, that might be here. I didn't find it. Every single time I've booted the system. And I've actually booted this more because I actually installed it. I installed all the updates, and I installed a couple applications so we can test how a Qt app and how a GTK app looks with the theming. That's one of the concerns. You know, you get something with a lot of stylistic things pulled from elementary, and we might get concerned with some of the theming. So let's go ahead and have a look. We have edit the user details, which basically just pulls up your ability to edit your details there. We can change system settings, so loads up the XFCE settings panel. We can install applications, which gives us this guy here. App Hive is the name. I can't remember. I think I might have said that wrong, but I believe this is a different one. I think that they had the GNOME Software Center showed up on the picture of the installing applications. So this guy here, I have found it to be fairly slow. It's like it's this giant JavaScript mess or something. You click on something and you can see how long it takes to go. I'd prefer it just kind of go, you know. But that's okay. And that's it. We don't have a way to turn off this welcome screen. So somewhere there should be a startup application. So let's see if I can find it. Session and startup. Somewhere I should be able to disable this. So I literally have to go in here and disable the start screen like that. No tips about how to do that. So that might begin to frustrate somebody who doesn't want to see the welcome screen every time you boot up. There's no option to turn it off and no instructions on how to do that. But that's something that we would kind of expect. Overall theming is nice. Of course, they are going for a sort of Mac-y look, particularly if they would have centered our panel, then that would have been a better way to make it look a lot more like a Mac than they have. But the theming overall is pretty nice. Here's desktop settings, system settings. It looks like we cannot work on the desktop if I wanted to. Okay, I'm not sure. Apparently that's not working. So there was a panel up there that was in the panel and it crashed on me, so I don't know. Here's our App Hive. Here's our system settings. Gets us back to our system settings. Let's load up the desktop here. Just a variety of pictures. Nice pictures overall. Here's the dock. We can go with big, small icon sizes. Don't send. So I'm getting some system crashes here. All right, so we can display it at the top or at the bottom for the dock. All right. And like I said, the other thing that we saw a difference in what was on their website versus the system is this is actually the applications menu, which is, again, pulled from elementary. So this is what we have. You can click on the button here to get your lists versus this version of it here. So over here, we have mine, Sudoku installed. I installed GIMP. That's one of my test applications. I installed FileZilla. I installed disks, which should be up here somewhere. So I installed disks. That wasn't installed on the system. And I installed VLC. So everything else, it gives us Mail Reader. Is this, which one is this? This is Mail Spring or Genie. I don't know what Mail Reader is. Let's boot it up. Okay, so that's opening Thunderbird. I have no idea what Mail Reader is. Okay. Not seen that one before. There's Thunderbird there, of course. We have transmission. We do have the Firefox, and we have the web browser. The is this Epiphany or the GNOME web browser? I'm not sure which one that one would be. Office applications. We have Orange Calendar, Orange Global Time, Calendar, Preferences, Sound and Video. Again, I installed VLC. Let's have a look at our task manager here. Oh, so I clicked this web browser and it boots up Firefox. Okay. So I guess I have Firefox installed overall. All right, so let's see what we have. 11% of our memory. So 11% of our memory, and that is, we have 6 gigs in this guy, so not too bad on system resources. No real issues there. Okay, so let's go ahead and we've looked at AppHive already. That's the multitasking view. And let's go ahead and have a look at, okay, first, where's my file manager? Okay. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that this file manager comes to us. Oh, this is Thunar. Okay, I was expecting that to be a different file manager. I thought I read something that the file manager was different, was not Thunar. Thunar is what I would expect with XFCE, but I read somewhere that they had a different look. All right, so here's kind of what their applications look like. Let's go ahead and boot in. This thing's just behaving like a Mac up here. I think they've picked the worst elements of every operating system and threw them all into one. This is quite impressive. All right, here's the image viewer. Okay, so these are some built-in applications that we have here. Let's compare this now to, I installed GIMP is going to be one of our GTK theming. So I want to see how the GTK theming looks. Does it, how does it behave here? Okay, let's go with single window mode. All right, so the GTK theming does look pretty good. Everything is integrated very nicely. Again, with the top menus like in Apple. Why would you do that to yourself? All right, well, I guess if you like it, that's fine. And the other thing I actually installed for that is disks. So I'm expecting this to look perfect. All right. Although maybe your absolute purists will be bothered by the fact that this has a much larger height on your menu. It doesn't bother me all that much, but some people might have an issue with that. All right, I installed 2 things for looking at our Qt apps, VLC, and I installed FileZilla. So these are the 2 Qt apps that I installed. Again, both of them look just fine. So it looks like your theming across GTK, Qt is going to look very good, very consistent overall. So I'm not really having any real issues with the theming, things like that. It's not my cup of tea, but everything does work. It works well, and I kind of like it. So this raises the biggest question. Does Ecosia really plant trees? Really? They show us a picture of Ecosia on their picture in Firefox, and our default search is still Google. All right. Do they really plant trees? Because planting trees is an offset by energy usage in newbies. Each search with Ecosia actually removes 1 kilogram of CO2 from the air, which makes Ecosia a carbon negative search engine. I'm going to call BS on that. BS alarm, because that means if I sit here and do 35 searches through Ecosia today, which I'm not going to do, then they're going to plant 35 trees. I somehow doubt that's happening. Okay. And so I don't know. So even if Ecosia was set as their default search, but it's not set as their default search. So what do we actually have here? Well, here's my thoughts. Do they meet their goal of being a green OS, save the planet, use Enso? Absolutely not. I think that they're using the green and the environmentalism marketing as a way to bait and switch people into using their distribution. Now, the distribution itself is based on Ubuntu 18.04, so they cannot match the claim to work on nearly everything because 18.04 has no 32-bit support, and we do not have an option to download a 32-bit operating system, which is what most of the older computers that are no longer in Windows or Mac support are going to be running. And so they fail to being able to revitalize any old system. They're not actually running Ecosia. There's nothing about this that's any more green. All we basically have is a Ubuntu rethemed with several elements out of Elementary. Personally, it's not my cup of tea. I think it's harder to use, more ugly to use. That's a personal preference of mine. Overall, they completely fail at their claims. Now, is it a decent system? If you like the look, you like the way theming looks, you like the way a Mac runs, and you like the menuing, hey, it seems to work great. It has all the theming is intact. We looked at Qt, we looked at GTK applications. Everything seems to congeal nicely in the system. We didn't have any problems. I think there were that early bug, but whatever. Maybe that's something small and weird. So it is running lightweight. They have accomplished that. It does have very nice and compelling theming, especially for how lightweight it is. I will give it that. It is based on Ubuntu LTS. It fails to meet its claims of being environmentally sound, environmentally green. I'd rather send you somewhere like Peppermint that still has 32-bit support, or maybe Debian with still 32-bit support, or something else that doesn't look like it's borrowing the worst of all of the different theming UI elements from the different operating systems out there. That's my overall take on EnsoOS. I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to tell you to stay away from it either. It's just kind of there. Let me know what you think about this assessment of the distro in the comments down below. All right, now let's close out of this guy. We'll hang out on comments for a little bit. See if there's anything else we want to cover here. Where's my comments? There's my comments. Man, I should have done another video topic too. I do actually have another. I have a topic I was thinking about doing today, but I'm like, you know what? I wanted to do something Linuxy. Okay, let's see. Where I left, I highlighted where I was. How dare you? Ruta loves trees. Rip to Pentium 4 users. Hello, Anna Rita. Got home from your part-time job. Now relaxing, watch you, then the chores. All right. Etcher's okay. I'm sure Etcher's okay, but I use Linux Mint. I use the USB writer because it works flawlessly every time. Cheers, Anna Rita. See, we're using the same applications. All right. Important to keep 32-bit systems running. It keeps them out of the landfill and allows them to provide productivity and purpose to maintain other functions. Yes, I agree. I love having applications I use pre-installed on Linux Mint. One less thing I have to do. Yep, there you go. Hey, pizza. How's it going? All right. I use 32-bit systems and find them important in my productivity workflow. That's right. XFCE has a new beta. Oh, really? XFCE? Nice. I'll have to look into it. That was one of my top early videos. I'll have to play around with it some more. Looks like Elementary OS's little brother. Probably does. Yes, it does indeed. Okay, let's give me beloved Linux Mint and MX Linux, but then again, I use my computer as an appliance, so I tend not to try distro hopping. Yep. Pizza. All right. Where's the dock? On the bottom. Who needs a dock? Where is a panel? Yeah. I put the dock on the side of the computer. And I like the panel on the bottom. I find the panel far more useful than a dock, personally. I think Enzo is the guy in Lethal Weapon who electrocutes rigs in that alley. Okay, all right. I'm not sure I've ever actually seen Lethal Weapon. So they had a dock on the website. Well, the dock is the thing on the bottom was the dock. Web browsers and mail reader automatically open default. Okay, thanks, Pizza. I was unaware of that. All right. 50% of it is derived from Elementary OS. Yes. Yes, how the hell does a distro have an effect on the environment? Yeah, if you have a 32-bit option, you can keep a computer out of the landfill, but this doesn't. I used to love Mac OS. But then I tried it again, and I hate it. I am not a fan of Mac OS. Try Kali Linux is good. Yeah, but Kali Linux is designed for pen testing. Pen testing comes too close to the line of TOC on YouTube. That's why I don't talk pen testing stuff. Acosa really actually does plant. Okay, I'm not doubting that the company itself plants trees. I am doubting that they plant a tree for every search. That's a bunch of nonsense. And frankly, I would be far happier if they came out and said, hey, we plant trees, we use our funding to plant trees and whatever else. I'm okay with that. But to sit down and say, we plant a tree for every search. That means if all of us right now boot up Acosia and just start doing a bunch of random internet searches. They are now required to plant 350 or whatever trees today, right? I'm sorry. I'm calling BS on that. That's nonsense. Okay. Said it plants a tree every 50 searches. Okay. Still, I'm still calling BS. I'd want to see the actual numbers from that. I'd like to see the actual foundation numbers in the proof. Call me Doubting Thomas. Give it a year till it's defunct. I don't know. I usually look for distros with a good balance of productivity and applications. By the way, I have strep throat today. Oh no, pizza! Don't get strep throat. It's not cool. We'll drink some tea and honey and stuff. And if you really got strep throat, if it lasts more than 2 days, you need to go and get an antibiotic. It's one of those weird things that you will actually hear SwitchedTolinux say, go get a drug. Okay, yeah. If strep throat lasts more than 2 days, you want to go see a doctor and get an antibiotic. Because if you don't treat strep throat properly, then it can get in your blood system and then infect your heart. And if it infects your heart, then you have a condition called scarlet fever, which is fatal. And strep throat is very easily cured by an antibiotic. Usually a 5-day Z-Pack does a really good job. All right. Okay. No geeks here, only chads. What? All right. I wish Adobe was more open with Linux support. Yeah, they don't want to be open with Linux support. That's okay, though. I wouldn't support Adobe anymore anyway. You hope you don't have the Kung Flu? Oh, man. That's not good. Well, I mean, you can tell it's strep throat. If you look in the back of your throat, strep throat actually has white spots on the back of your throat. That's how you can tell it's actually strep throat. Then they'll swab it and determine is it strain A or strain B. And I think strain B is harder to show up on one of them's harder to show up on a test. I forget which strain. I think it's B is harder to show up on a test. But they're both actually connected to scarlet fever. So if it legitimately is strep throat, have a look at the back of your throat. If you got white spots back there, talk to a doctor, get an antibiotic for it. Yeah, for a topic, Linux health. There's plenty of applications to track your steps. You know, I have not found a lot of serious good ones, honestly, but maybe I'll look around for them. That sounds good. So send me your Linux health tracking stuff, and I will go ahead and see if I can put those together. That does sound like a fun top 5. I could resurrect the top 5s, right? All right. They're planting a tree for 50 searches. Not a lot of people use that search engine. Yeah. What you do is send money to companies that plant trees, and they plant them on their behalf. I still doubt it's happening as much as they say. But EnsoOS, Greta Thunberg's distro of choice. All right. Use Debian with Firefox and DuckDuckGo, and I will plant weeds in my backyard for you. All right, man. Well, I have a Debian build around here somewhere. I'll just have to change the search engine to DuckDuckGo. Hey, kitty. DuckDuckCat. How's that? Cat Go. I should make a new search engine. Call it Cat Go. All right. Wow. Should we look at let's go ahead and have a look at the other article. I'm not sure I want to record it or not, but maybe I will. I don't know. I found a fun article on, I think it was Airbnb scams. Kind of fun. I like scams. You like scams? I like scams. Gotta find my links. Hey, kitty, stop typing on my keyboard. Really, cat, stop typing on my keyboard. The cat's like over here, like I'm gonna lay on this keyboard. It'll be all right. Like, dude. Yeah, I think we'll probably not record this one. We're just gonna have a little bit of fun. This is your live stream bonus. You guys get a bonus for watching the live stream. All right, this is from Vice. All right, Vice, the journalists who aren't really journalists. All right, so Here we are with the most common Airbnb scams. So if you actually use Airbnb, good luck to you, sir. Or ma'am, I guess. But anyway, there are a lot of Airbnb scams out there. And so this is a nice little article that evaluates these different scams that are out there. So let's go ahead and have a look at what some of their scams happen to be. And this is, to me, why I like the hotels better. You know, we have a lot more regulation. They're not trying to be mavericks, trying to skirt the laws, getting around things. Because if you have a situation like this, it's going to be really hard to to survive if some issues. So first is the bait and switch. So basically the way this guy is kind of going, let's just read what they have here. One exceedingly common theme across them was the bait and switch. Users were promised one apartment and arrived to find something very different. Sometimes the problem was deceptive photos that bore no resemblance to the place they arrived at. Other times they were persuaded by the host to switch apartments or houses entirely, only to find that the new location was filthy, unfurnished, or in a totally different part of town. Surprising number of stories, the new house was often full of a weird number of beds laid out in bizarre configurations. Well, that's weird. Never mind. I was going to say something about brothels, but nah, let's not do that. All right, the apartment plumbing scam. So this is one of the ways of doing a bait and switch. You book your nice place. You show up, there's an immediate plumbing emergency right at that time. You tend to show up. So, we have another place over here. Use this one instead. Of course, when this occurs, they do this reasonable thing to give you decent whatever accommodations, and they basically, we can't cancel it that much. I mean, some of you just can't find a new place that quick, in all honesty. And so that's that. All right. So plumbing scam seems to rest the idea if Airbnb is uninhabitable, hosts can't be penalized for reservations. So that is explicitly mentioned, but they have ways to get around it. You know, hire a plumber to take the pictures of the worst stuff that they have found out there and mail it to you. How does Airbnb know that's actually at the place? They don't send anybody out. They don't really care. All right, getting the guests to agree to move houses. This is part of the plumbing scheme and the bait and switch. So this is a neat one. Booking an Airbnb to multiple people at the same time. So this one is you rent it where you believe you have booked the whole residence only to find a whole bunch of other people. So multiple people are renting the same exact Airbnb over and over and over. And so let's go ahead and think about the consequences of that one. You're like, hey, we're going to go to the Airbnb. You get there and you got a whole house full of craziness and it starts looking like the brothel. So that's one fun thing you can do. All right, let's see. The money scams, paying outside the app. Of course, hey, let's just pay outside the app. I'll give you a little bit better of a deal. Yeah, good luck with that. Probably not gonna actually show up. So if you're doing an Airbnb, do not pay outside of the app. They got the fake damages. Airbnb to police and for guests to guard themselves against the claims of fake damages. It's absolutely true. Airbnb guests do damage the places they stay. This is another fun reason to use hotels. It's a little bit better. Like of all the places I've stayed, I've never had some crazy hotel attempt to charge something that wasn't legitimately there. And with an Airbnb, you don't have a solid company that's doing something. And if you've ever worked with PayPal and had some type of dispute, you know that PayPal always sides with the people that gives them money, right? Yeah. Airbnb is going to be the same way. Only in this case, it's the people listing the properties. And it's easy for them to make up some claims, make up some damages, and submit all that for proof. And Airbnb is not going to show up to investigate it personally. So that basically means you'll be paying more. So, bad reviews, running out the clock. Another one that they had down here is, I didn't see it in this quick list looking over, I thought it was a good one to talk about, is where they would rent out that Airbnb and they'd keep it on the market. And if somebody else came by and rented it at a higher amount at the last minute, they would cancel the original reservations and go with the higher amount instead. Eek. Let's see. Hosts have bad scammy experiences too. Problems with Airbnb don't just impact guests. We've also heard a large number of hosts who said they've had difficulty getting a response from the company when they reported serious issues. Common one that a host told us is getting Airbnb to cover simple damages or repairs or being penalized for necessary cancellations. Guest smokes, denies it. Second guest comes in, complains about smoke, gets a full refund from Airbnb. Host complains about the last guest to charge penalty. Host is denied. Host loses regardless. Airbnb and the previous guest come out on top. So that is certainly one of them as well. Guest loses the key and denies it. Airbnb does not cover you, although they say that they do. All right. If anything breaks in the condo, let's see. Anything breaks in the condo, it's next to impossible to be compensated. They require a minimum of 3 contractors to go in, 3 quotes and invoices, and then give you an amortized amount if it goes through. Not realizing contractors charge money to come in, they've made it so it's never worth it to try to get damages handled by their insurance, and their insurance is an outright scam. Guest breaks something, and if it's not fixed, Airbnb charges you for rebooking for a subsequent guest. A guest stays at our unit an entire night and then said she didn't like the smell of the cleaner used on the floor the morning after. Airbnb canceled the entire reservation, $900 worth, for a week and gave her the 1 day free, basically taking away 25% of her monthly pay as it's hard to get the suite rented so quickly. Yep. A lot of issues. This is why I don't like these type of gig economy things. Give me a hotel any day. Not that they're going to be perfect. You're going to have some issues, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more things from a lot more public image concerns. There's a lot more regulation. There's a lot more laws, and there's a lot more you can do about it when you're using hotels. So that's kind of funny there. All right, let's have a look at what the blog post that Pizza posted here. Let's see if I can have my mind persuaded with evidence from their blog. All right, so financial reports and tree planning. Love being transparent. Here's why we publish a monthly financial report and tree planning receipts. These show exactly how much money we made from your searches and what percentage of our revenue went towards trees. They do not pay out dividends to its owners. All profits stay within the company and will eventually either be invested or used for tree planting. It takes about 6 weeks to process a month's payments, which makes sense. So they said that they had a total of, 2.4 million euros. So they invested half of that into tree planting. 96,000 went to basically advertising. 327 is reserves. That would be called retained earnings. That's perfectly acceptable. Salaries, people need to get fed and things like that. Travel costs. Okay, so that's good. So tree planting payments, 9.7. Let's see. So 9.7 million trees. This important buffer ensures the reforestation partners gets it paid out to projects, added to the fund, and so let's see. Okay, hold on. This was paid out to the project. This is in total. I have no idea what their fund numbers are showing up. If these are supposed to be sums, because in total, you'd expect to be the sum of the individuals, I'm not getting what these numbers here are. Important buffer ensures our reforestation always gets paid, even if our income fluctuates. So they're using retained earnings to make sure things are done. So we had 248,000 euros in Madagascar. Okay, so that was their top country. All right, so there we are. So there's different reports. Okay, so again, this is fine. I'm not denying that they're not planting trees. What I'm saying is if they're saying they're planting a tree per number of searches, I actually find that very hard to believe. There's nothing in here about that. That's my concern. Okay, I'm not doubting that they plant trees. It seems like a decent, nonprofit organization. But there is one more thing to consider when you're reading these. All of these are going to these guys here. Is this the amount of actual trees that went into planting? But they're telling me that they sent 1.2 million euros invested into planting trees. Now we need to look at each one of these organizations and see how efficiently they are handling their money. Because right here, you can see that their total revenue here, of only 50% of their revenue goes into planting trees, which is what we'd expect. We have administrative costs. We have, keeping things going. We have things like this. That's all expected for business. So a 50% administration fee is actually extraordinarily high in the industry. Very high. And now they're taking this money and they're not planning things directly. They're dropping it into each of these individual funds. Now the question is, how are each of these individual funds investing that money? Are they also at 50%? In which case, only a fraction of what they're spending is going towards planting trees. These are the things that we have to look at. So there are a few things. Let's see if I can find one off the top. Since this is all impromptu, I got to think about how to do this. Basically, I'm going to look for some of the charity checkers, which will tell us. So Charity Watch, I believe this is a decent one. I think Charity Navigator is a decent one as well. So let's look at Eden projects. Let's see if we can find anything about Eden projects. I can't find anything about the Eden projects. Pure project. All right, let's do Eden project. No, I want to deny all. No, I don't want more information. Deny all. Fine. Save settings. So we're buying tickets. This is it. EdenProject.org, right? Eden Projects. There's multiple Eden. Okay, hold on. This is not the right website. EdenProjects.org. Yeah, EdenProjects.org. Pardon me if their top donation has a dysfunctional WordPress website. Make sure I'm spelling that right. EdenProjects.org. Okay, that is correct. Okay, so apparently I had something incorrect, or it just wasn't working right. Okay, so let's see, giving, monthly donation. See what their financials look like. Okay. So last year, Eden reforestation projects provided or employed over 15,000 full and partial season tree planters. Okay, so Ecosia paid them 248,000 euros to a company that employs 15,000 workers, who added another 47,000 trees. Okay, so those added 47 million trees deforested in Madagascar, Haiti, Nepal, Indonesia. 78 cents of every dollar goes towards the mission and program expenses. Okay, so they have then, so that means there's a 75 or a 25% administrative cost, and then everything else goes in. But this goes towards other things as well. All right, so let's see. Now being recognized as one of the most prolific forest reforestation tree planting organizations on the planet, Eden's forest reforestation model is built around the simple concept of providing fair wage employment to impoverished villagers. Their job is to grow, plant, and guard native tree species to maturity, resulting in restoration and healthy regional forests. After 15 years of growth and refinement, the employ to plant model is now proven to be transformational in both land and lives. Okay. We don't have a lot else. Let's see what we have here. $78,000 a year in website development costs. Someone's scraping some money off the top of this. Their website is not super amazing. Let me go back here. Let me go back to this guy. Okay. Liability and assets, payable to accrued interest, without donor restrictions, with donor restrictions. So contributions, they pulled in about $3 million. Gifts in kind, investment loss net. So they lost money on investments. They did give 57 out. Let's see. So they spent a pretty good amount. I mean, these are good ratios for fundraising. Program expenses were $2.7 million. Change in assets. This is just hiring people, though. That's, I don't know. All right, let's try Charity Navigator. Let's see how that one looks. So many of these, and I'm not sure if any of these are the one we were looking for. All right, let me try this. See what this one is. See what this one is. So many of these. All right. Okay. I'm just looking for websites to cross-link to the websites. Nope. I don't know. I can't find information about the company, about at least that one, the first couple I looked into. So that's why I have some concerns about it, about what they're doing. I mean, I'm a little concerned about it. I'm not doubting that they're donating to these causes. What I'm doubting is how many searches result in a tree planted. Because if you notice, Project Eden's things had nothing about planting trees. It had to do with hiring people. How many trees are... So I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Wondering whose property those trees are being planted on. Yeah. Laughed when I saw this title. Beck's got a phone call. Wife needed me. All right. OS for the environment was a bit funny. Yeah, their finances. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it does. It does. And I would want to do a lot more research before I would get behind it entirely. That's my thought. Let me see if I can find... see if they're a 503C in the United States. Okay, so yes, they are a 503C. But they're not on any of the charity watches. So they claim on their website that they have planted over 265 million trees. They're saying 2.6 million work days created. So I'm guessing that's, divided by however many employees. They've hired over 5 countries, 82 project sites. So I have no doubt that they're doing decent things. The concern that I have, though, is that you have one company that says every 50 searches we're donating to plant a tree. But that's really not what's happening. With all their searches, they're doing an aggregate, how much money are we making, and then we're giving this money. So if Ecosia says we're giving 1.2 million euros away to donate trees, you cannot assume that that's 1.2 million used to plant trees. So it's 1.2 million that are being divided out between 12 different organizations. Now the question is, what are those doing? Because Ecosia is only operating at 50%, which is extraordinarily high. That's a lot. That's if you go and pay money to feed a starving child in Africa. If 50% of it goes to pay salaries and you're giving, $35 a month, only $17 is going to it. Now, granted, $17 goes towards buying a lot of food in an impoverished country, but at the same token, that's my concern. And it's the way that they're marketing their branding. That's the same issue I have with Brave. It's the way that they're marketing their branding. I'm not doubting that the company is doing decent things. That's the thing. Answer you saw on Google wasn't the official statement. It was a Quora article. Yeah, it's fine. I just read through their statement you gave me. And I'm disagreeing with it, though. That's okay, though. That's, the trees for hidden agenda. I don't know. I'm not going to go that conspiratorial right now, but one project creator for the EnsoOS. That's it. No one else is involved. Yeah, there's other projects that are decent that are like that. I don't know. I'd want to look into all of these more before I do a whole lot more to it. Let's look at. And I wish these were lists. This is a picture, this is a picture. I'm looking at a picture here, so. Let's look at greenbeltmovement.org. Let's look at that one. All right, so here's another one. This was a little bit lower on their list. We plant trees, we plant the seeds of peace and hope. Okay. Okay, so they are a 503C. All right, let's see if the Greenbelt movement is inside of the charity checkers. See what they say about them. No, I don't want all that. My lands. I just want the name of the place. Copy that. Greenbelt movement. Does that match? Brooklyn, New York. Court Street. Organizations with more than $1 million in annual revenue. Okay, so it lists, it's here, but it's not evaluated. Okay, so that's okay. That's perfectly okay. That's understandable. Let's see if these guys talk about it. No results in Charity Watch. Apparently Charity Watch is useless. Let's find another one. Greenbelt. All right, that matches our address. They have all of the information. Our donation's deductible. Yes, so this is a good deductible. Total revenues, total assets. Okay, so this is just checks that it exists. Okay. Well, we know it exists. We verified it exists. Let's try this one. Build a better website. Greenbelt movement. No results found. Get out of here. I have to pay you to look up a charity? It sounds like a good deal for you. I don't know. I can't find anything else on that one. That's fine. All right. ONGs are working at 1% of efficiency. That's 90%. Yes, that is very true. Reason why I only donate when I know for sure where the money is otherwise going. Yeah. Now here's the defense of Ecosia. If all you're doing is searching, generating ad revenue that's going towards these organizations, assuming these organizations are good, hey, you're helping support a charity without actually paying out money up front just for doing internet searches. I understand that. That's why I think the model is good. I just have a problem with them saying every X number of searches a tree is planted. I have a problem with that because I know how many searches happen on the internet. And that's literally like we could even sit here, like I said, go to the site and just start pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing search buttons and force them to search a bunch of trees. I don't see that happening. That's my concern. BorderOS has 4 devs. All right, man, you're doing 4 times better than Enso. Did that beta go out last night, Pizza? Let us know. If so, drop a link in here if you want. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this craziness up. We've been on just about an hour, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap this guy up. So I'll have this edited video out. If you missed the exciting, amazing, if you missed how amazing, like, guys, I got to say, if you missed this distro at the beginning of the stream, if you came in here late, okay, if you came in here late, all right, then when you boot up Enso, you see the carbon being sucked out of the air. You hear the sound of pristine air, pure air happening. It is amazing. It is amazing, folks. It is amazing. EnsoOS, the distro of choice for Greta Thunberg. All right, guys, we'll catch you guys later on. Have a good one.